final page. Reading any color believes that the claims raised by Selene Tatsuki are in fact referring to situations that arose when she was warned about her breaches of the activity rules.
This right here, this energy is very, you stepped out of line and got what you deserved. It's like, this is the company saying that she deserved it. And Pluto, I mean, if you guys haven't been seeing it yet, Pluto and Mercury square Jupiter, this is a huge foot and mouth. Huge foot and mouth for them, on top of like the 3 freaking pages they wrote that went on forever instead of just bullet points why it was over. This would have probably been the time for them to say as little as possible. And instead they went the complete opposite way, which was less square to Jupiter. Complete overindulgence in everything they were saying. And they did it all to try to keep up this, how can I say this? This facade of control, and that they have this full control over all the autonomy of their livers. And it's like, if you're reading between the lines, which a lot of people have started to do, it seems very unethical, which is what Pluto is bringing to light in Aquarius, is bringing the unethical and the inhumane treatment of humanity. Like, Aquarius is humanity, and like how things are going, the status quo, and how it's being treated, and how it needs to be systematically broken down, because Pluto is destruction. Pluto and Mars together happening on Tuesday is a lot of destruction. And we still have Jupiter squaring off freaking Mercury. There's gonna be more things. It wouldn't surprise me if they put out another statement that's just as freaking long, because they got their freaking buttholes reamed when they put out a tiny sentence for their people that are investing in their stock market, which 8th house matters, Pluto matters, stock market has been dropping, and it just keeps doing that. And they're putting out this thing saying, hey, terminating her isn't a big deal. They called it negligible. Like, it's not going to affect us at all. And what this is doing is it's igniting this fire under a lot of people that aren't even a part of her community, that are just angry at the fact that a human life is negligible because there was an attempt on her life. So it's bringing a whole different community into the fight for her that probably wasn't there before. There's like a lot of rallying together in Aquarius energy, a lot of rebellion, a lot of revolting. There's gonna be, which it's been happening because Aquarius also rules like it's kind of like Gemini in the sense with like merchant kind of energy, but it's like the longer trades, and Aquarius is the internet trade. So having this kind of energy is going to be shifting what has power, which is what Pluto is, and it's shifting it more into the community. Like, the people have the power, as opposed to this billion-dollar corporation, which is what we're gonna see as this keeps unfolding. Because if they keep sticking their foot in their mouth and being emotional with their walls of text that they're putting out for everybody as a corporation, then what's gonna happen is their downfall. It's lined up like that. And another interesting thing to look at is Nijisanji is a company that came out in February of 2018, giving it Aquarius placements, which means this coming around to them can mean a lot of destruction if they don't start doing the transforming that's needed. Because Pluto is about transformation. It won't completely destroy something to oblivion to where it can't come back if it shows change and transformation, which is what the people are calling for. They're saying treat your talents better, do better is what they want. Now, if the do better doesn't happen and they keep doing worse, then that's downfall. But if they can get over their emotions and being wrong, because that's what this is coming down to, is a lot of feeling like they don't have control and they're wrong, they need to get over that. If they cannot get over it and move forward with more humility, you know, being humble, having like that detachment, which is Aquarius, like detaching yourself from the situation and saying what's better for the community, because this is a community. then they lose it and it goes somewhere else. It's rebuilt somewhere else. If they cannot go through with this change that is being called to them, then it's just, it's destruction. And we're going to be watching that unfold. Now, Pluto is in Aquarius for like, I believe it's like 15, like it's less than 20 years. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. I think it's like 2034 or something when it goes out. I could be wrong, but no, I'm probably wrong on that because it's only 10. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm probably thinking of some other date with other stuff I've stuck in my head. But with this being in Aquarius, it's going to be sitting on them as a corporation. It's going to be tearing things down. And unless they can do what's needed and what's being asked from their community, much like this Liber is, because all she's ever done is stuff for the community, which is why she's held in such high regard in this energy. Like other livers that have always been about the community and not really like about themselves, like being the shining star spotlight and things like that, they're going to be the ones that are rising, the ones that have always been giving everything to their community, saying it was because of their community, like being risen up in that way, because it's going to be power of the people, not power of the singular person standing on stage or the power of the singular corporation. It's going to be like this thing where things are broken up. And it's going to show just how powerful it is, especially like how I was mentioning earlier with trade stuff. This company, like there's been multiple people that have been speaking out about not liking the mistreatment and saying, I am dropping, like I'm not doing merch with this company. I'm not doing any videos of this company. Like a lot of this type of like community, the VTuber community, really hinges on the support of the fans. It's a very fan driven thing, fan art. There is fan-made merchandise. There are companies that spring up solely to support VTubers and like getting their merch and stuff out. There are all these types of things. On top of them branching into other things like PCs and different things like that. But there's so much that is just turning on them and saying like, no, we aren't going to be supporting this. And that's pretty much what's going to happen, is people are going to side with the people. There isn't going to be this thing where everyone's like, yeah, I'm going to side with the corpo. And to make matters worse, you know, Pluto, 8th house energy, is other people's finances and stuff. And you know, the stock market and everything, and how even if they're not saying something and just people that is like their job as analysts to say things and like releasing statements that really make it very minuscule, like anything that can happen on like this side of things, like, you know, the branches to different countries, because it doesn't really add up to a lot of their revenue. Is just pissing people off more, even though that's not even associated with the company itself. It's just some other company doing their job and like being very like no emotion, completely detached, and just listing things that are facts, and then that's making people emotional. But it's like more emotional towards the company, where it's like, oh, so this is why they treat them like they don't even matter because they don't make them money. It's like that. It's like it wraps the mentality that way. Like there's a lot of psychological just mess that gets unearthed. And Aquarius energy is very fast. It isn't Capricorn energy. It's not slow. It's not trudging. It's not going to take years for some development to happen. Aquarius energy is linked to Uranus, and it is very rapid. It is ruled by lightning, like the lightning strike. It makes it to where things are just known. Now, having this also makes it to where things, when they're going to change, they're going to change fast. It's not going to be the slow moving like energy like we've been dealing with, like where something gets uncovered and we're like going years without. No, there's none of that. There's going to be quick turnaround, and then other things are going to come up. Quick turnaround, other things are going to come up. And that turnaround is getting stuff fixed. It's like the destruction of something that's not working, or the transformation of something that will work better. You can see that with Xbox, because they're leaning like, hey, this hasn't been working for us. Let's lean into something else. The people that are traditionalists, that Capricorn energy, that have been following them and like complaining like 15, 10 years, whatever, that's the whole time Pluto's been in Capricorn, guys. They have become attached to this traditional thing, which is not making Xbox money. That's what their fan base has become attracted to or attached to, or whatever it is over the years, is just that. And that's Capricorn energy, just being very stuck doing the same like traditions and things like that, like always sticking with the same console, the console wars, and like the control over, yeah, all that kind of stuff, right? But Xbox seems to be moving a different way, something more Aquarius, something where they're more like distributory, which is very Aquarian, is putting their stuff everywhere, putting it in many different groups so that it's not just this singular thing, which is very Leo. It's like just that one thing, and you have to have that one thing to do anything. They're like, we'd rather just spread out and just, you know, try different things, which is very Aquarius. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do better with what they're going to do, even though they're going to have fans that are like, but I'm not it's like a thing of feeling important. They'll get over it. And if not, the change they will make into being more like Aquarium, where like it's more of a share community type thing where they're like more publishing and doing things like that. If that's what they're going to be doing, then what's going to happen is they are going more the technology route, the more like higher information route, instead of trying to be stuck into one console, gatekeeping, all that kind of stuff, which isn't very Aquarius. So it's like they will be seen more highly in this energy and actually come out. It might take them a couple years because, you know, Pluto is very turbulent, and going from something that's a tradition to something new, there's always going to be people that fight it very hard and get very emotional about it. And having Mars going through everything next week when they're going to be announcing things, it would not surprise me if they get a lot of angry fans, a lot of backlash because of that whole Mars situation. But there's also going to be some components that are smoothed out with Venus, because Venus energy is a lot more nourishing and just calmer than Mars. It's like just a lot more receptive than trying to fight. So it might not be very accepted at the beginning of the week, but towards the end of the week, people will come around and see the vision a little better, because that's what Aquarius energy is. It's the vision. It's holding the vision and being able to do something that hasn't been done before.